What is the use of assert in Python? What does assert mean? How is it used?
The assert statement exists in almost every programming language. It has two main uses. It helps detect problems early in your program, where the cause is clear, rather than later when some other operation fails. A type error in Python, for example, can go through several layers of code before actually raising an exception if not caught early on. It works as documentation for other developers reading the code, who see the assert and can confidently say that its condition holds from now on. When you do, you're telling the program to test that condition, and immediately trigger an error if the condition is false. In Python, it's roughly equivalent to this. Try it in the Python shell. Assertions can include an optional message, and you can disable them when running the interpreter. To print a message if the assertion fails. Do not use parentheses to call assert like a function. It is a statement. If you do assert condition, message, you'll be running the assert with a condition, message, tuple as first parameter. As for disabling them, when running Python in optimized mode, where _debug_ is false, assert statements will be ignored. Just pass the O flag. See here for the relevant documentation.
Watch out for the parentheses. As has been pointed out in other answers in Python 3, assert is still a statement, so by analogy with print ... one may extrapolate the same to assert ... or raise ... but you shouldn't. This is wrong. This is correct. The reason the first one will not work is that bool, false, Houston we've got a problem, evaluates to true. In the statement assert false, these are just redundant parentheses around false, which evaluate to their contents. But with assert false, the parentheses are now a tuple, and a non-empty tuple evaluates to true in a Boolean context.
As other answers have noted, assert is similar to throwing an exception if a given condition isn't true. An important difference is that assert statements get ignored if you compile your code with the optimization option O. The documentation says that assert expression can better be described as being equivalent to. This can be useful if you want to thoroughly test your code, then release an optimized version when you're happy that none of your assertion cases fail. When optimization is on, the _debug_ variable becomes false and the conditions will stop getting evaluated. This feature can also catch you out if you're relying on the asserts and don't realize they've disappeared.
The goal of an assertion in Python is to inform developers about unrecoverable errors in a program. Assertions are not intended to signal expected error conditions, like file not found, where a user can take corrective action, or just try again. Another way to look at it is to say that assertions are internal self-checks in your code. They work by declaring some conditions as impossible in your code. If these conditions don't hold, that means there's a bug in the program. If your program is bug-free, these conditions will never occur. But if one of them does occur, the program will crash with an assertion error telling you exactly which impossible condition was triggered. This makes it much easier to track down and fix bugs in your programs. Here's a summary from a tutorial on Python's assertions I wrote. Python's assert statement is a debugging aid, not a mechanism for handling runtime errors. The goal of using assertions is to let developers find the likely root cause of a bug more quickly. An assertion error should never be raised unless there is a bug in your program.